continue our talk about the dialectical behavioral therapy. And as I mentioned last session, that dialectical behavioral therapy is therapy that where you're gonna learn some tips and techniques to manage these things. You're gonna learn some tips to manage stress and cope with stress. And we finished this part already, and we were gonna learn mindfulness technique, which is part of Buddhism. We're gonna learn emotional regulation, which is to regulate your emotions, mainly the negative one, like anger, guilt, fear. And also we're gonna learn interpersonal effectiveness, which what we are doing now is how to maintain a relationship and how to set limits and boundaries and how to say no. We will focus today on how to say no and how to cope with resistance or defensiveness from the other side. So to say no, for some people they abuse saying, they say no for everything, but I'm giving this slide for people who cannot say no. So it is not black and white. I don't want you to say no all the time or yes all the time. There is a moderation. But to learn to say no, it's easy. 3 steps. You open your mouth, you say no, and then you close your mouth. Again, it's very easy. You open your mouth, say no, then you close your mouth. Okay. But of course, it's good if you, before saying no, you validate the other people experience and you validate what they are talking about. You acknowledge and appreciate their input and use some softening statement. If you are in marriage or something, you say, some loving word or romantic words. And then after validation, you decline. When you decline, you can use I would prefer or I'm not comfortable with. Most Canadian use this one. I am not comfortable with this or that. You don't have to offer lots of justification. Just saying these words will make it easy for you and for them. Because if you are not able to say no, it is like driving a car without brakes. There is no control. Here are examples, like this example between a boyfriend and girlfriend. The boy wants to watch action movie, but the girl doesn't want to watch the action movie. So she validated his point. She told him action movie are a lot of fun, but you know what? Today I would prefer like a calmer tonight, or something calmer this night. So still validate, and then she added, I would prefer. Another thing is this example this is a mother and the father. The father wants to confront his son about his addiction, or they find that he's vaping or some negative behavior. So the father wants to confront the son. So the mother is saying that she say, I can see you want to confront your son, but our son, but I don't feel comfortable with this approach because he gonna turn his back on us or he gonna leave the house or something like that. Another example is again, two partner. One wants to go late and spend the night until 1 a.m. or something. The other partner, she's not comfortable with the idea and she wanna go to bed early. So she mentioned the same word. She validates the point, then I'm not comfortable, then she mentioned what she disagree with. So this is how we say no. And we have an exercise at the end that you're gonna tell me 3 situations that you want to say no or set limits or make certain changes. Just tell me 3 situations. Maybe you tell me 3 situations when you should have said no in the past, or you tell me something current problem and you want to say no and set limit for it. So tell me 3 situations. This is one of the exercises. Another thing we're going to learn today is coping with resistance. When people become very resistant or defensive. There are some technique to use to maintain relationship and also to assert yourself and be assertive. Mutual validation, broken record, probing, clouding, assertive delay. We will talk about them. And I'll give you know, lots of wording in each slide, but because these are examples, so you need to see what is happening. So what is mutual validation? It is similar to what I just mentioned, is to acknowledge and appreciate their experience, then you validate your own experience. So you show them both sides. So for example, this is a husband and wife. The husband, you know, doesn't want to do high risk investment. The wife wants to do high risk investment. So she validate his point, then she explain or validate her own point. So she told him, you know, I understand it is scary to take a financial risk, but on my side or my end, you know, I would like to do some high end or high yield investment to make more money when we retire, to have more money when we retire. This is another discussion, you know, between a mechanic and a lady who wants to fix her car, and mechanic, you know, he is concerned about her safety, so he wants to replace so many parts, but the lady is very tight in budget. So she told him, you know what, I want to keep the car running, you know, but I understand you are concerned about my safety, but on my end, I don't have money and I want to keep just the car running. So anyway, this is a mutual validation, is you acknowledge. And I have seen, you know, I work with lots of people from different culture, and the Canadians are already set up in this way. Most of them, they acknowledge and then they express their experience. The problem, if you have mental health problems, you know, because of overwhelming emotions, sometimes you will forget the acknowledgement and appreciation for other people's experience. So this is a mutual validation. The other one is broken record. Broken record means you formulate a short, specific statement and you just keep repeating it. And again, when the other side is defensive, you can use this technique, and the other side is not in agreement with what you say. And we have here a discussion between Sam and Bill. So Bill, he wants to, you know, Sam, they are neighbors, and the Bill, he has a big tree. One of the branches is hanging over Sam house. So Sam is worried that this big branch will fall down. Will fall down on the Bill. Bill big tree branch will fall down in Sam's house. So Sam is trying to explain, you know what, you have a large branch is suspended over my roof. Please cut it off. But Bill keep telling him, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So Sam is using broken record. He's still saying, you know, it is danger to my house. Please remove it. The other guy is still the same. Relax. You know, this branch has been here forever. Don't worry. Sam is telling him the same thing. No, I'm concerned about it. Please remove it. Bill, you know, you are so nervous about it. What happened? Then Sam is saying the same thing. Please remove it. So yeah, sometimes, and again, it is better to use all these techniques together when there is a conflict. So the broken record is you keep requesting and they use short, specific statement for what you want. This increase the likelihood of people accepting your thoughts or ideas. Probing is you keep digging, you know, if you see two partners, like a husband and wife, and they are fighting over, or they have argument over the kitchen, like the kitchen is not that clean. If you dig deeper, you will find the problem is not about the kitchen. The problem is about something else. But this is what come to in the discussion. But if you dig deeper, you will find a different problem. And here is an example. So when you feel that this is not really the problem, you know, some people will cut it short and say, okay, we're gonna fix it, or we're gonna work on it. And even if you fix it or you agree on the other side, but you are not digging deeper to get what is really happening. So this is a discussion between a boss or an employer and employee. Okay, so the employer or the boss is telling him, you know, you're not pulling your weight around here and you are not working hard. So the guy told him, okay, what about my work that bother you? The employer said, you know, you leave every day, every night at 5. Then the guy told him, okay, and what's wrong with me leaving the office on time? Then the guy told him, you know, you're just working by the clock, and the work has to be done. Then the guy told him, okay, when I work by the clock, what is the problem? What bother you about that? So you use what is it about, or what bother you about it, and you keep digging until you know what is happening. So the employer told him, you know, someone has to finish the work, and it is often me. So this is the real problem, that this guy is the one who finished most of the work. So when you keep digging, you might know what is really happening in the background. If you stop the discussion here, I don't think you're going to get a positive result. So digging deeper is one of the techniques. So mutual validation, broken record, and probing or digging deeper. Clouding mean you know, you have a problem with someone and then you choose certain things to agree on. You don't agree on everything, and you don't say, oh, everything is true, yeah, you are right with everything. No, you choose certain things to agree on, just to calm them down, and then will help to maintain and to continue with the discussion. So this is an example of someone is telling you, you know what, you always get pissed off over little things. Okay, so you agree on part. It is true, there are some times I find myself getting irritated. So just tell them about sometimes I do it, will help them to calm people down. Another example is this is someone telling his friend or partner or something, you never support me when I need something. So they say, yeah, it is true, sometimes, you know, I couldn't completely support you. So you agree in part about the other person without agreeing on everything that they say is true. And we call this clouding. Assertive delay, yeah, when you know the situation get hot and angry and lots of resistance, you can delay your response. People will put you on the spot to make a decision right away, but you can ask, you know, give me some time or give me an hour, to help you to calm down, help the other side calm down, then you think differently about the situation. So again, these are different ways to handle a difficult situation. We used the last time Dear Man acronym. We are using these techniques to cope with resistance as well. Some people are, to be honest, born with these techniques. Like naturally they do this stuff, and the other people will need to practice them and be mindful about them when they get into any discussion, especially when there is emotional dysregulation or emotional disturbance in the background. So to summarize what we were talking about, these are the exercises we're gonna do today in our discussion. You tell us about 3 situations where you want to make a change or say no. Okay, it could be something that happened in the past and you're gonna share with us, I should have said no with this situation, or it could be something in the future and you wanna plan for saying no or setting boundaries at least. Another exercise is you give us 2 situations where you're gonna use these strategies. Okay, and describe how you're gonna use them. You don't have to use all of them, but I'm sure something resonates with you. So again, mutual validation means you validate their point and then you express your own experience. Okay. Broken record is you formulate a specific short, statement and keep repeating it. Probing means digging deeper to get what is really the problem. Clouding mean, you choose certain things to agree on within the discussion so it calm people down. Assertive delay is you ask people to give you time, give you few days to think about the problem. Let's have time out now, and we can rediscuss the problem maybe next week. So you don't have to answer the two questions like within the discussion. You choose one you want to answer, or if you are comfortable with sharing both of them, that's completely fine. I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to think about it. Then Brooklyn and the other doctor will run the discussion. If you and also during the discussion, if you have questions, let me know.